Voting in the flag referendum begins tomorrow. The forms will start arriving at your doorstep tomorrow. After so much talking about the different alternatives, Kiwis supporting the status quo will be able to vote for the status quo from tomorrow. Of course, if you're into the silver fern variety, you can have your say too. New Zealand First staged a protest over the whole thing yesterday. Well, some people are calling it a protest. Winston won't. Its leader, Winston Peters, joins us now. Winston, good morning.
Good morning.
And before you say this, I will say it. Yours is the only party that from day one have said this is a waste of time, this is a waste of money.
That's a fact. I mean, it demonstrates in many areas, particularly social areas, how out of touch politicians are with the rest of the country. It's a classic. This is not the only time, but they all misread it. Joined the committee, and you recall the history of this. Not so long ago, the National Party allowed there to be 21 hui. That's Maori meetings at the marae usually.
Oh, I'm making note of that because I've heard that word before.
Well, a lot of New Zealanders don't know. 21 hui, paid for by a taxpayer, at which less than 1,000 Maori in total turned up, and then we end up with a new Maori flag flying on the harbour bridge. This is an absolute abomination to our history, frankly. Less than a fraction of 1% of Maori got to decide that flag, and then Mr. Key's launching this alternative, which was really...
You're really annoyed, actually, that the alternative is up on the harbour bridge, that it's been elevated to that status.
Well, because it's a breach of the Constitution and our laws, for a start. You've got the Tauranga City Council talking about running on a flagpole down there, and a lawyer saying to them, oh, no, you don't. This is illegal. And he's talking about injuncting them. Now, you see, this is serious because...
The world is full of idiots.
Well, people are skewing the thing in the way. They've got 250 other sites. We're flying on the Auckland Harbour Bridge a flag which wasn't the right colour. Now, this
no.
Pretty
It's
bad news.
But
the point is, it's a diversion. And if we're going to the serious issues, it's costly and above all, and this is a fact, where my party is really strong, we are not going to deny this country's history. Whatever it is, it's still a great history in many respects. And we are a leading country, what used to be until some people took over. But, you know, we were a unique country to which most of the people looked and said, how can they half a world away from their markets be one of the greatest countries on earth?
Okay, so essentially one of the things you're saying at New Zealand First is the time is just not right yet. Maybe one day the time will be right. There will be a groundswell. But at the moment the time is not right.
Well, precisely. I mean, another thing is the alternative is a bit boring. That's the fact of it.
Yeah.
In fact, look, so it reminds me of the ponytail on the wind.
Bloody ridiculous process, quite frankly. Anyhow, so what happened yesterday, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we had someone there who watched this. So all your MPs snuck into this area behind the beehive, and they hid sort of as much as you can hide, and they waited for you to come along, and then you all scurried over to a flagpole and put the New Zealand flag up.
Well, your man Lloyd has got about a fraction of that right. The fact is, we found this flagpole, paid for by the taxpayer, sitting there, no flag on it, over a government building with ministerial offices in it, and not being used. And so we decided, well, why aren't they flying the flag there?
But it was a stealth operation.
Well, we said we'll give the News Up a call because they look like they might be up to the game. They're a bit sharper than the rest. Anything else you want me to say at the moment?
That's good. Are we rolling the tape on this?
And they won't call up the Prime Minister's office first and everywhere else and try and pot us on the way through. And we'll go out and put the flag up. And as for that, he said to me, well, what happened if the security guards take it down? And I said, well, we'll do a horny heck in reverse. We'll put it back up again and up again and up again until they honour the flag.
How much trouble do you think the Prime Minister in? Because he has staked a lot personally on changing the flag.
Huge trouble, because what he said was, and I think this very unconsciously, but in the media's mind they know it as well, he was going to make it his legacy. Not that I fixed up a lot of sick people, I got a lot of people, tens of thousands of people to job. No, I changed the New Zealand flag. What to?
So do you think this is a fundamental political mistake from someone who, quite frankly, John Key is very good normally at reading the people?
Well, he's going to get two hidings in a row. He went up north and put his reputation on the line in the by-election and came off second best. And he's gone to this flag thing in the same way, very unorganised, but with a whole lot of people behind him who thought, well, we can actually pitch and change the public's attitude.
Okay, what's your pick? Which way is it going to go?
It'll go 2-1, maybe even higher than that in favour of the present
flag. At least 2-1 in favour of the present flag.
And it's because there's no great hunger for this change.
No, I think you're absolutely right, which is fundamentally why
one thing. Australia's going to be a republic very shortly, and they will then have to change their flag. And the flag Ned Kelly stole from us will be ours.
Good point. Actually, very good point. So that solves one of the main reasons people want it changed.
You've got to be a male. Well, you've got to be a male and colourblind to call that other option a silver fern. It ain't silver.
It's white.
Thank you very much.
You're being a bit pedantic.
The lovely time I've had.
No, it has been a lovely time. Before you go, I was really surprised yesterday when you came down on Judith Collins and Anne Tolley, because I know that you are fundamentally opposed to gangs. You want to clamp down on gangs as much as possible. I would have thought you would have been in favour of this new initiative. No,
you had to listen to Anne Tolley's explanation in the House yesterday to realise just how shall I put it, sickly white liberal some of these politicians have become. It's not a racist thing I'm saying here, but the Maori gangs are so destructive of Maoridom and its reputation, of our communities and of our country. They have to be outlawed. The idea that we're going to spend money on them because we're already having to spend money on them in state housing and all other benefits, whilst they are involved in serious drug crime and prostitution, is an outrage.
You would not let, New Zealand First would not let patched gang members rent state houses.
No, that's a fact. Why when you've got other people who have tried hard and deserve state housing, would you say that you're going to give a member with a serious record of criminal behaviour a state house?
Yes, no. Okay, so the reason you're against this, because I think it's great, social profiling in this area, but you're against it because you think it's just pussyfooting around the problem, yeah?
Social profiling? The cops know now what's going on.
Yeah.
So does Maoridom.
Yeah. All right, Winston, just very fine. This is turning into a political thing.
So obviously it is. All this time, Mr. Henry.
Yeah, okay, Winston. Finally,
finally got it right.
Paddy Gower this morning likened you to Donald Trump, and I obviously jumped in straight away and said, oh yeah, I can see that. Do you take that as a compliment?
Look, the trouble with Eastern Seaboard intellectuals in America and some journalists in this country is that they're seriously opinionated. Now, Donald Trump, I'm not a backer of Donald Trump, but I tell you one thing, what he and Bernie Sanders are doing is actually speaking for a lot of people who, for shocking reasons in a democracy, feel they have no voice.
Disenfranchised.
Totally disenfranchised, and they are. You got all these lobbyists and all these other people negativing the effect of their ordinary voice, and yet they pay the bills.
What's your pick there? What's your pick in the States?
Oh, Trump's going to win today, big time.
Okay, Trump will probably get the Republican nomination. Will it be Trump and Hillary?
No, I wouldn't say that, because the Republicans face the fact of a massive split. I think it's too late to read, but I think you can say Hillary's going to make it, all the way to be a candidate, that is. And she's got a great chance of being the president.
Winston, for some reason, I'm not sure why, it's always great having you in. Thank you very much for joining us. Winston Peters, New Zealand First Leader.
We should do it more often.
Well, we should. Shall we do it more often?
Yes, we should.
Okay, all right, we will, Winston, we will. It's easier if you program the program rather than me. Right, let's go to Charlotte in the social media bunker.
Hi, Paul.
He's a bit of fun, you Winston Peters, you know.
I'm quite a fan, actually. Or, he's charming. Winston, you're charismatic.
Would you ever vote New Zealand First, Charlotte?
No.
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 There you go. So that's the problem. You're charming, you're charismatic, Winston, but Charlotte still wouldn't vote for you.
They told me that Charlotte's not so bright.
Winston, you're off my Christmas card list.